Hello sir, AniketDubey here from Section A. The topic I'm going to cover today is the issues and initiatives in the Indian tourism industry. So let's start. So firstly, I'm going to give an overview about the industry to have a context. Then I'll move on to the issues and lastly to the initiatives taken by the government to help in the growth of said industry. So the tourism industry is divided into five main components according to the services provided by them. So the first one is the accommodation and catering businesses, which include hotels, motels, apartments, camps, guest houses, or even hostels. And this also includes facilities which take care of the food requirements. Next up is the transportation providers in all the modes, that is airways, roadways, and waterways. Tourists opt for a particular option depending on their requirements and budgets. Next up is the main thing which tourists plan their trip for, and that is attractions. This can be anything from monuments to the theme parks and to heritage education structures. Then we move on to the agents who help us in executing our travel plans, and that is the travel agents. Lastly are the tour operators such as Make My Trip, Yatra.com, and numerous offline operators. Nowadays, there have been a lot of trends in the tourism industry, which has changed and broadened the horizon of the tourism industry in India. Firstly, there have been a surge in the travel operators in the online space, where 70% of the bookings are done through them. And this is evident as they provide better UI and hassle-free experience with lot of offers. Next up, we have wellness tourism, which can be very lucrative for the country as the world has adopted the practices of yoga. Also, Ayurveda and Siddha are rising in popularity. Nextly, we have cruise line, which is growing in popularity, where the government is planning to set up 5 cruise terminals, and the SL Group has recently launched their Zen cruise called Jalesh. Then, taking the advantage of our rich geodiversity, adventure sports in various parts of the country has taken place. Camping, on the other hand, has helped the people gain knowledge and adversity of our environment. This is helping us gain economically as well as socially. So, due to all of these, there has been a rise of foreign exchange reserve over the years, where India earned foreign exchange of US dollar 28.59 billion in 2018, and also there has been a growth of 9.35% in the span of 11 years, but the growth rate has dropped drastically last year to about 2.5%. So, next up, we'll move on to the issues we are facing as a country in the tourism industry. Here is an image from Economic Times where it is clearly shown that the tourist arrivals have dropped drastically to mere 3.1%, and also the forex earnings have come down to 8.2%. To this, Piyush Goyal commented while being optimistic and said that we have the largest number of tour operators coming from China and the US for our upcoming India Tourism Mart in September. That should help boost investments. Next up, there have been some prevailing issues throughout, which has plagued the tourism industry for a long time. First of all, there has been a huge lack of infrastructure, which has made the whole traveling experience unpleasant and inconvenient. And even though there was a campaign of Incredible India, it wasn't aggressive enough to lure people in. And also, the ministry hasn't tapped the online marketing tools to increase the visitors to these destinations. Therefore, even though India is a geographically rich country with a wide range of destinations, they have not been cashed upon. This can be attributed to the lack of funds supplied for this purpose, which has also resulted in poor maintenance of heritage monuments. On the other hand, India is at the threshold of looming opportunities. Tourism in India is one of those sectors which are currently witnessing widespread growth, thanks to the increasing inbound tourism by the burgeoning Indian middle class. Now, there are some problems which have come into the picture in the recent past. Firstly, the global slowdown, with Brexit in the UK and the recession looming over the Western countries, has made the tourist reluctant to spend on tourism on an extensive scale. Then, even though there has always been a tension between India and Pakistan, but recently there have been heightened tensions where there was a subsequent shutdown on the airspace in the India bound flights into Pakistan. And as India is a long haul destination for Europe and US, and leisure holiday bookings are made 3 months in advance, which adversely impacted the numbers of April June quarter as well. And there has been a strong competition from our neighboring countries like Sri Lanka, Thailand, Malaysia, and Vietnam. These can be attributed to the visa fees, which is cheaper there. And finally, there has been a lot of changes in the policies and introduction of new policies such as CA and RC, which has led to unfavorable circumstances for the tourist to plan a trip here. And lastly comes a pandemic which has disturbed the whole world in all shape and manner, called as the COVID-19. This has put the whole world on a standstill, from the most advanced to the most poorest countries in the world. And surely it has affected India health wise as well as economically, and the tourism industry has been affected adversely with this. Due to the scale of this pandemic, it has led to visa cancellations, cancellations of forward booking, and also inbound travels, as well as events in the recent future. Now we will move on to what the government has done to remedy these issues through its various initiatives and schemes. So the government has launched some initiatives such as the Swadesh Darshan, where it is based on 15 circuits throughout the country based on specific themes. Till date, 73 projects have been sanctioned since 2015, and the whole of this has been allocated a budget of 1160 crore. Next up, the Pilgrimage Rejuvenation and Spiritual Heritage Augmentation Drive, that is Prashad, for the encouragement of pilgrimage tourism with a budget of 160 crores. With the national tourism policy, the ministry is planning to aim at must see destinations in our own country, and the budget allocated to this is 112 crores. Lastly, the Statue of Unity, which is the enormous statue of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel with 182 meters in height. There has also been changes in the tourism policies. The government has passed with a bill to deploy tourist police in these tourist destinations, which was initiated in March 2018. The Nagaland government, on the other hand, deployed separate police for the tourist. The government is also providing tax incentives to build 2-star and beyond hotels under Section 35D. Here, they have permitted up to 100% exemption. Next up, they have opened up 24/7 helpline in 12 languages. They have also used social media to make campaigns for the safety measures to be taken. There has also been a rise in the e-tourist visa up to 21.1% and has reached to 0.29 million during Jan 2019. Also, the tourists are provided with BSNL unlocked SIMs for cheap communications in the country. And also, there has been a few more initiatives such as Project Mosam and Indian Tourism Mart 2018. There are some niche opportunities which the industry can focus on for more lucrative businesses. Firstly, there is the medical tourism, where we can cash upon the world class facilities and professionals. Here, the tour operators have been collaborating with the hospitals and various medical institutions. Even though there has been a rise in the cruise lines, still it is a niche segment. We as a country can take advantage of the huge 7,500-kilometer coastline. In April 2018, the Chennai cruise terminal was built, and also the cruise terminal in Mumbai has been allocated rupees 1000 crore. The potential for the development of rural tourism in India is high as most of its population resides in the rural. This can benefit the rural community economically and socially, and facilitate interaction between tourists and the locals for a mutually enriching experience. Lastly, India is often termed as the hotspot of biodiversity, and this rich natural heritage is unparalleled in many ways. Such valuable resource base gives impetus for the practice of variety of alternate tourism forms, and many of which are already in existence. For example, the national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and biosphere reserves. Here are the websites which were referred while making this video. Please have a look for your further reference. Thank you for watching.